Thanks so much. Well, good morning, everyone. Hi there. My name is Annette Gutierrez, and before I talk to you today about my topic, I just want to welcome everyone to the inaugural TEDxSocorro and just give thanks to the City of Socorro and their team for putting this event together. I know that this is not an easy feat, and just getting people to agree to do this and putting it together and getting the sponsorship, such a great amount of time and effort. And so how about we give a round of applause for City of Socorro, as well as Victor Reta, for putting on this great initiative. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is finding happiness in anything that you do. I think it's a very simple topic. We all aspire to be happy. I think this is an emotion that everyone at least says that that's what they want to do. They want to be happy. They would rather be happy than be upset, be fearful, be sad. But yet, I don't think that we take the time to really think about and contemplate what experiences we're having in life and if those moments are truly happiness, because I think that is the gas that is in your engine that fuels you, that gets you through the day. And so I want to further explore this topic with you. And I think it's very timely that I am discussing this with you. Just last night I was watching the news, and they were showing video of the welcoming center that they had for the immigrants that opened in El Paso. And they're showing video, and you see all these individuals that are going through their journey and getting information from city employees, various volunteers, and you see so many emotions on their faces. A lot of them are looking pensive, they're tired, but you also see moments of happiness. And so you can see that there's kids at the center, and they find an opportunity to play, and they were singing songs, and then there were other kids that were actually playing soccer. And then they asked a family what their experience was and how they were doing. The mom, the first thing that she said was, "I am happy to be out of the jungle." And the dad said, we were able to receive diapers and milk. And they asked him, "Well, how do you feel right now?" He says, "I feel happy." He said, we're able to have a dream accomplished that a lot can't. And so I think that this is just a great time for us to think about this, and hopefully I'm going to go through my journey, but this will be something that can resonate with you as well as you go through your own. So when we talk about happiness, you see it in everywhere. It's in our culture, it's in our society. Again, this is something that we aspire to be, that we aspire to have this feeling. And we see it throughout all facets of our lives. For instance, in movies, if you all remember this is the Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith is portraying Chris Gardner, an individual who's a single dad trying to make a career, raise his son, and he ends up getting into the cutthroat industry of the stock market. And he's trying to make a name for himself and just have a good career and a great home for him and his son. And he's doing this at the same time while he's homeless. So that journey that this gentleman took obviously was very inspiring, and obviously the end result is just trying to find happiness in his life. You also hear it in song. Every year I am mindful that I'm getting older and older, so Bobby McFerrin, looking at this crowd, you all probably have no idea who this guy is. Don't worry, be happy. I see you in the middle. You're like, what are you? This is not a classic song, okay? So don't think that. I heard that now the younger population is referring to anyone who's born prior to 2000 as the 1900s. That's not cool, guys. Don't say that we're 1900s, okay? You can just say you were born before 2000. That would be more appropriate. So here, Bobby McFerrin, he has a song called Don't Worry, Be Happy. And to me, it sounds kind of childlike, kind of like if you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. But in one of his lines, I thought was really just resonated with this idea where he says, in everyday life, you have some troubles, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. So we're always, I think, having this journey, this push and pull in terms of you want to be happy, but the only other emotion that you're experiencing is not happy, is anger. But for me, I'm thinking that it's more than just that. For me, I almost felt at times just kind of flatline, and I don't know if you all feel like that. And so this is something that I wanted to talk about with you today. The other item that I wanted to just mention is that you also find this topic in books. The Dalai Lama, the Big Book of Happiness. In this book, he talks about how we all have the power to be happy in our lives, and he wants to train us in terms of how it is that we can find that meaningful emotion. And so, as we get into this journey, I do want to talk to you about why it is that I came to this topic, because I think it's an interesting story. I hope you will feel the same way. Just a little bit about myself. I born and raised in El Paso. I went away to school and received my bachelor's and master's, and I came back to El Paso. Graduated in 91 and came back in 99 from high school and came back to work in 99. And I started working at the Rio Grande Council of Governments. And I started as their economic development coordinator. And I, like most young adults, you're just trying to find your journey, try to find what's the best fit for you, what you think is going to give you the most meaning, how it is that you can inspire, how you can make a difference in this world. And so through the years, I've been able to move up into different positions. And in 2009, I became the executive director. So I've been with this organization for a very long time, 23 years now. And so as I talk about finding happiness in anything you do, some of you may ask, well, gosh, how can you really be truly happy? Are you just really actually just kind of going through life, 23 years? Can you really be truly that happy doing that, being in that one organization? Especially nowadays when we are able to just move around so much into different facets of our lives in terms of our career. And so for me, I came into that position as the executive director under very sad circumstances. My predecessor, Judge Jake Brisbane, in 2008, and this actually it's already been a year, September 15th, he, along with the U.S. International Water Boundary Commissioner on the U.S. side and the Mexico side, they chartered a plane from El Paso, and they wanted to assess the flooding situation in Presidio and Ojinaga, and they left that day, and they never returned. They had a plane crash. All of them perished, and so our organization was obviously not prepared for anything like this. And so prior to that time, our executive director had talked to management, asked all of us if we were interested in looking at the possibility of moving into the executive director position, and I said yes. You know, to this day, I'm not really sure why I said yes so quickly, but I just thought, this is the next step that you do. You should just put yourself out there. Let's give it a shot. And so we, at times, there was some mentoring that happened with Judge Brisbane, but obviously nobody was prepared for this. He was not ready to retire. And so when he did pass away and the opportunity came up, I just went for it and I put my hat in the ring. And so this organization is one of 24 councils of governments throughout the state of Texas. And it's a male-dominated industry, so to speak, in terms of leadership. At that time, there were only 3 other women who were executive directors. And luckily, the board saw something in me that they thought was enough to where they felt comfortable assigning me this position, and I was awarded that position of executive director in 2009. But I think that I know that for sure I wasn't prepared. I faked it for quite some time. I had no idea what I was doing often, many days. It's just so easy to see from the inside, not looking at leadership. You have no idea what it's like to lead an organization when you're the one at the top and you have to make all the decisions. And so for a long time, I don't think I was as happy as I would have liked to have been. I was fearful, I was sad, I was angry at times. And luckily, it wasn't until, now in that moment, I did have some moments of happiness. I don't want to sound like Inside Out where you just have that cloud, sadness walking around with me, but I did have moments of happiness. I got married in 2009. We had a son in 2013, but it was during that year that I went through a leadership program with the Paso del Norte Health Foundation. And they I really didn't know how much I needed that. And I went through such a great experience through that nearly year-long process of training. And I think it has really made me such a better leader because of it. Now, the reason why I'm coming to you today with this topic is because, and I don't know if anybody heard you because I heard that my mic was hot. So this is not something that I love doing. I speak very often in front of groups, but a TED Talk I think is somewhat a bit overwhelming. But I was asked several times by the illustrious Victor Reta to participate, and I politely declined, and then I was told again, and I politely declined, and then I acquiesced, as most people do with Victor, and I said, okay, I'll do this. So when I'm trying to think of what topic what I want to talk to you all about, my natural inclination was leadership. But I kind of feel like that's kind of been there. We talk about that a lot, and so I just wanted to put a twist on it. And I was thinking about this past summer. My husband and I went on vacation with my son, who's now 9 years old, and some family members, my first cousin and her family. And so I thought about this one moment that I had, this one experience that I had while on this trip, and I think it really has changed me. It's kind of put a spark, and it's given me a new zest for life in terms of how I look at things. And so this trip that we took, it was an obligation. I saw it as an obligation. I'm optimistic, but I have low expectations. So I'm not going to be overly emotional. I'm not going to cry really quickly. I don't think anything is truly magical. I'm just very pragmatic. So when we took this trip, and I saw that we did this for my son, I really didn't have any expectations for myself. So can you all think right now, do you know where I went? I went out of obligation for my 9-year-old son. You're right, folks. We went to Disney World. And I thought, all right, let's just, what does Brene Brown say? Just enjoy the suck. I knew it was going to suck. It was going to be hot. The lines were going to be long. My son was not going to be cooperative. It's going to be crazy expensive. I'm going to come back with a zero bank account. But we're doing it, and we're doing it right. So here's evidence that we actually went to Disney World. And you can see, we took in all the attractions. It was great fun. And my little pirate in the middle, I don't know, that's a pirate in Paul Revere. I don't know what he was really feeling there, but pirates can be patriotic. So that's what he was doing. But I do want to give props to my goddaughter, the girl with the funky glasses with my son. She just got accepted to the college program for Disney World, and that's truly, I think, what inspires her. She's already been to Disney World 12 times. I loved it, but I don't think I'm going to go 12 times. And so she was like our concierge. It was just, that's probably why I had such a great experience, because I didn't have to figure things out, because she did it for us. But there was one ride that just took my breath away, and it was at the Animal Kingdom. Anyone gone to Animal Kingdom? Can you think of what ride that is? Anyone? It was this ride. It was Flight of Passage. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'll describe it as we're talking about it. Flight of Passage is a simulated ride. You're not even going anywhere. You're sitting on this, feels like a motorcycle. You're holding onto some handles. You have some goggles. There's this apparatus that comes to your back to hold you tight. And the whole idea is that you're going on a journey. You're flying in the planet of Pandora on a banshee. And that banshee, you can feel the banshee breathing underneath you as you're going through just the whole planet. There's areas where water's going to be splashing you. It hits you in the face. I was just taken away with this ride. I had so many emotions that went through my body, and it just really gave me such a great feeling. And I don't know how many have you been on this ride. Has anyone been on this ride? No? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm promoting Disney World right now. I'm going to see if they'll send me that check. So I apologize for the graininess of the video, and it looked kind of a little bit more like the Blair Witch Project, right, with how it was bouncing, so hopefully I didn't get you sick. But as I was going on this ride, and when I came off this ride, this is what I felt. And I promise you, I was not on any illicit drugs. I did not have any alcohol. This was at 8:30 in the morning, okay? So this is the first ride. So what I felt was, euphoric. I felt like I really felt like I was on that ride. I was riding that Banshee. No one could tell me otherwise. I also felt appreciative. I just had an overwhelming sense for appreciation for everyone in my life. I also felt this great sense of individualism, and I think it's because I was in charge of that Banshee. I was the one who was going through the trees and hitting the water. I was the one who was doing that. I also felt hopeful. And so, I don't know, I didn't think about this, what a great driver that is to have that feeling of being hopeful. It really can push you through your darkest moments. And then also a sense of community. So in that ride, there's moments where you're by yourself, but then you gather with the rest of the other avatars. And so you felt a sense of belonging. And then finally, peace. That was the overwhelming, resonating feeling that I had throughout that entire experience, was just a sense of peace. And so when Victor asked me to speak and I wanted to talk to you about this topic, I'm really thinking that through. I'm thinking that as a leader, it can be very lonely. There's a lot of moments of sadness and anger, but if you can think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish and where you need to get and who you need to partner with and who needs to see that vision that you're trying to implore upon others, I think that is going to be the biggest moment of happiness in your life. And so for me, this is just, again, given me another start on life. I realize that I have just been okay with low expectations. I've been okay with giving a decent meeting. I've been okay with my son getting, decent grades. I've been just okay in so many things in life. But why can't I want more? Why can't I want to be more happy? And all because it's a stupid ride. Can you believe that? I mean, it's this ride that did it for me. So I think that, so what I want to leave you with today is that, what I discussed with you is nothing earth-shattering. It's not innovative, necessarily forward-thinking, but it's just asking you to think about yourself and your life. And are you happy in your life? And are you doing what you need to do to be reflective of that? Because you deserve it. You should appreciate yourself. And I think that that's going to be, again, the fuel that you need to just keep furthering your efforts in life and to be able to look back and say what I did was meaningful and I lived a happy life. And in this moment, that's how I feel right now with all of you today. I'm so happy. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.